Good morning, Hampton Roads. How's everybody doing today? And welcome to Virginia's only local real estate investing podcast, where we get to talk about local investors, local deals, and all things local. I'm your host, the founder of the Master Investor Academy and author of my best-selling book, Work Just Gets in the Way of Making Money, Scott Jelinek. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, things you want to discuss right here on the show, or properties that you'd like to sell, go ahead and text me at 757-699-4227. And if you have not done so already, go ahead and subscribe to this channel. If you're listening on the podcast, go ahead and subscribe to the podcast and leave me a rating and review. In the review, you can put down your information on your buying criteria so that we can actually use that review section to build a buyer's list. One last thing, I still have 2 tickets left for this. We're going to have a 2-day event coming up on January 30th and 31st right here in Virginia Beach. It's going to be a live event in person, very small, just a small handful of people because we are distancing and we're not allowed to have large groups of people right now. But it's going to be a fantastic event. We're going to go over marketing, wholesale, rehabs, rentals, raising private money, and slow flips. And it's going to be a fantastic event. We have 2 spots left. If you are interested in attending, go ahead and text me at 699-4227. That's 757-699-4227. And I will send you a link so you can go ahead and get yourself registered. We're down to 2 spots left. So if you're thinking about it, don't hesitate so we can get you done. So what I wanted to talk to you about today, I got a couple different things. One is, first of all, you guys have been doing fantastic. It's been extremely hot. So I have 2 people I spoke with this morning, both coaching students of mine. One of them closed a deal for a $40,000 profit after it closes for a rehab deal that it's closing right now. The other one closed a deal, I think it already closed this past week, for a $90,000 profit. Now he's partnering with somebody on it, so he's going to make 45, but still a $90,000 profit on a rehab is fantastic. So I want to congratulate you guys. It's been you guys have been on a run. I mean, most of our guys, we've been just tearing it up, and I'm going to have them on the show when we do the deal of the week. And so, speaking of the deal of the week, I wanted to talk to you guys about the video I did yesterday. I don't know if you're listening on the podcast, you may not have seen it unless you go to the YouTube channel. If you're watching on YouTube, you may have seen it, but it was yesterday's deal of the week where we talked to John Laudenschlager. And we don't have to get into his whole deal. It was a great deal. I think he made 30 grand on it. But the point I wanted to touch on with John is 2 different things. And I'm constantly saying this, which is why I really enjoyed that he was on the show. First of all, John is one of the people who every single day, and when I say every day, I'm not taking off for Saturday and Sunday either. Every single day, he's got some deal he's working on every day. And it might not even be a good deal. And he even talked about that in the interview yesterday. He says, well, you never know where it's going to lead. So even when we're working with somebody and it's not even a deal that can happen, he still works it through the 27 different options that we have. He even talked about how one of them he ended up turning into a wholesale lease option and made $6,500 on it. Better than nothing. It was a deal that couldn't work any other way. But that's not really what I wanted to talk about. What I wanted to talk about was the fact that John is 75 years old, and he's vibrant and healthy and he's fine. But the point is I meet so many people who are 40 and 50 and 55, and all we ever hear is, oh, I wish I knew about this when I was younger. Oh, it's too late. I totally would have done this if I knew when I was younger. And all they are is telling a story to themselves. They're convincing themselves why they can't do it or it won't work for them. And I love John's such a great example of, he was like, screw it. He started, I think, when he was 74. He's been with us over a year now. And he's tearing it up. He said he did 10 deals this past year. They weren't all 30 grand, obviously, but they're 10 grands, 15 grands. He's doing great deals and consistently. Why? And this is what I always like to break down, which is why I like to do breakdowns of deals with students. Why is he doing so many deals? And there's other people who are saying, I have not got one deal. I can't get my first deal. What's going on? And this is why I love to break it down. It comes down to your daily habits. Every single thing you do every single day is a choice. You're either going to choose to do the things that you may not want to do that are going to move you towards your goal, or you're going to choose to sit back and watch Netflix and do what's comfortable. Everything you do every day is a choice. And using John as the example again, John chose the day he signed up to be a coaching partner. He chose, I'm going to be successful. I'm going to rock this. And he does it every single day of the week. And so I try and stress that to people about how much everything you do is a choice, everything. And we always look at these people who, you know, they can be at the same class, start at the same time, and certain ones will be uber successful, and some of them will still be trying to close their first deal. And no disrespect to the people trying to close their first deal, as long as you're still trying and doing the things that need to be done. Just don't say, oh, well, it doesn't work for me, or I wish I started when I was younger, or they have a special gift that I didn't have, or anything along those lines. Everybody can do this. It's just a matter of if you're willing to do it, if you're going to make that choice, if you're going to choose the life. You know, they always say, how does the saying go? They say, you know, being rich is hard, being poor is hard. Choose your hard. And that's where it comes down to a choice. Either way is hard. You just got to choose your hard. Do you want to work hard to be wealthy, or do you want to, you know, work hard to stay poor? Because even being poor is not easy. That's a job in itself. So they're both hard. You have to choose your hard. Everything, every day is a choice. That's all I wanted to talk to you about that. If you haven't seen it, you need to go ahead and watch that video, because he's very inspirational, and I love what he's doing, and it'll inspire you to watch it and to see what he's pulling off and how he's doing it and what he's doing. And then these other two that I talked to today that just closed these deals, I'm going to have them on in subsequent weeks so we can discuss and break down their deals as well. So something else I wanted to talk to you about. So speaking of one of these people I spoke to today, it's interesting how we have two deals going on right now that both had a similar situation happen almost in the opposite direction. One of them was a coaching student of mine who had a property they had an appointment on, and they were working with it. There was new construction next door. And so we don't know exactly who the end buyer ended up being, but we presume it was the person next door that they were also meeting with. And the person told them they ended up buying it for $100 over what her offer was. Well, when someone says they bought it for $100 over, what does that typically mean? Typically, it means the seller told the next person, the next investor, well, I already got an offer of X, let's say it's 100,000. And then that buyer says, well, what if I give you 100,100? And then the seller takes their offer, right? Well, so that happened on one house, and my guy lost the deal. They said, oh, we sold it to somebody else, and it was for $100 more. The opposite thing happened today, which is so ironic within the same week. The opposite thing happened with another coaching client of mine out in Hampton, was working a deal. And this was a person they were working the deal with who got the offer from them. Then they got an offer from another investor, which was the $100 more, but they didn't accept it. They called back my guy and said, you know what, I got an offer. It was $100 more, but I realized I made a mistake and I shouldn't have told him how much your offer was. I regret doing that. And so I'm just going to go ahead and go with your offer. And so it was interesting the way that works. It's something to think about. Sometimes we like to be the last guy there, so we don't have to deal with that. But there's always that chance then someone's a closer on the spot, and then you're not even going to get that appointment in. So, it goes both ways. And right here within a 2-day span, we had the exact same thing happen. 2 different coaching students on 2 different sides of that same equation. So just wanted to share that with you. It's interesting. It's something to think about. And in my opinion, the second guy was right. If you're going to tell that number, then you should have to go back to that first person and say, listen, which almost becomes an auction situation. But, what are you going to do? You can't just tell him, oh, well, he offered this because we'll all go $100 over. That's not really giving your best offer or your best ability of what you were able to pay. That's all I wanted to talk to you guys about today. You have an absolutely super fantastic day, and do something today. And this time I mean it. Don't keep hearing me say this every day and not do it. Do something today your future self is going to thank you for. And you can look back and say, okay, I remember that one day I finally said, okay, now I'm going to start. Now I'm going to do it. I'm going to get up tomorrow and I'm going to start doing these little things I know I was supposed to be doing all along. That's all I got for you today. Have an absolutely fantastic day, and I will talk to you tomorrow.